You already know what time it is. Let's go. Hey, what's good everyone? My name is Chris. Welcome back to the official WearTesters.com YouTube channel. Today we are taking a detailed look and performance review on these guys right here. Almost said bad boys. They're not quite bad boys. It's a decent shoe. If you're gonna be like, yo, what do they remind you of? Like off the top of my head, it reminds me of a Curry. What? It's got a little bit of everything and it excels at a couple of things. But just in case you guys were wondering, this is the box that they came in. So it's got this enlarged Nike logo, D-Book signature on one side. I love this part. I don't know who would stack their shoes this way, but if you did, that would look cool. And with that being said, the traction is definitely one of those things that the shoe excels at. Basically, we've got a no frills, no gimmicks outsole right here, which I personally love. Not only is it herringbone from top to bottom, but the grooves are thick. So for those of you guys that want to play outdoors, this is going to be a good option for you. However, the cushion's not going to be, but you know, you gotta, I guess, you give or take a little bit, I suppose, as long as it's with Nike, I guess. If you want that logo on your shoes, you're gonna have to give up something to get something. If you wanted a bunch of everything so that your money is like well-versed and you know you feel like you got the most bang out of your buck, you're gonna wanna go with a different brand. Which brand? We've got plenty of videos, man. You can check it out. Chinese brands are some of the best. But anyways, the traction here is awesome. There was a little bit of like wiping needed here or there when there was a lot of dust present. I have a feeling that's just because of the translucent outsole. I didn't have any issues with them outside, with the small exception of like, I think I like almost like wiped out. It was a defensive play. I almost messed that one up. I was able to recover and pick his little like pocket or whatever it is you want to call it. But I'm pretty sure that I had also been on the line and those things are just a little bit slicker than the rest of the asphalt. But anyways, if you were interested in something that was not featuring translucent, I would actually either wait for different colorways to release, or if you really love this particular colorway, the pairs that are releasing overseas actually feature solid rubber outsoles and they use XDR rubber, which is extra durable rubber with Nike. So again, you got options. It just kind of depends on what it is that you need, what it is that you want. If you're just wearing these indoors, I'd say that this is fine enough. And if you're wearing these casually, then obviously none of this information applies to you. Now the cushion setup is really interesting. I think a lot of people, including myself, were expecting more of a Kobe-like shoe than what we actually have here. Now, while this is not like not similar to a Kobe, because the tech specs are, they're more similar to this Kobe right here, the Protro specifically, not the original, where there is a heel Zoom Air unit and then the rest of the midsole is just simply Cushlon. So it's not anything like special or anything like that. Now, normally the cushion as it is right now would be more than enough, especially for me. I love Cushlon. I think that it's awesome. However, this particular setup is a little bit different than most. So what you see here on the lateral side, honestly, it's really interesting. It's a sidewall or a cage. So roughly the middle of the heel, you can actually see the split where one side is rubber and the other side is the open Cushlon foam. So this entire medial side is all open foam, whereas the entire lateral side is caged for stability. Does that hinder its ability to be plush and stuff like that underfoot? Casually, no. On court, yes. Like when you're in motion, it definitely kind of like makes the cushion feel a little bit more dead than it should. Again, kind of like a Curry. Like the Curry's got adequate cushion. It's just not like, oh, that's amazing. You know what I mean? So the aspects of the shoe that are very similar to a Curry would be the stability, cushion, and traction. So those are the things, like if you're looking for that stuff out of your shoes, then you'll like these. If you want just a little bit more, then maybe you won't. Can you change out the insole? Yes, you can. It's just a basic dense ortholite. So before you play in them, I would remove that if that's an option for you, or I wouldn't say an option, but if that was something that you were wanting to do. However, if you do play in them, the glue is going to adhere. So you're going to have a problem getting that insole out after the fact. So I would make up your mind before playing it. Now, I think that the reason why they did all of this, because a lot of comments that I've been reading online have been like, oh, they don't look stable. They are stable, which is surprising. I think it's a couple of different reasons as to why they are stable. Obviously, the first one being that lateral sidewall. So you got that rubber piece there, just kind of caging the cushion, not allowing it to break down or compress so much. The second thing is that I think they did that because you sit directly on top of the midsole like you would an Air Force One or an Air Jordan 1 and all that stuff, where you don't really sit inside the midsole or the tooling itself. The reason why they did all that is because they're trying to make this shoe kind of like a best of both worlds, like an on-court, off-court style of shoe. Do you need that nowadays? I think most people, or at least most basketball players, we have a basketball shoe and we wear those to play basketball in, whether that's indoors, outdoors, doesn't matter. Like we've got one for everything. And then we have our stuff that we wear off the court. Like for me personally, it's retro stuff, it's lifestyle stuff. So this I wouldn't necessarily want to wear off court, even though I do think that they're comfortable and I do think that they look good. It's just, if this is my basketball shoe, it's gonna be my basketball shoe. I do not like taking the outsoles anywhere else unless it's a basketball court. So yeah, I think that they did what they did to the shoe to make it that best of both worlds, and I really think that they should have just focused on performance. Now the materials, look man, this is my jam right here. This is my favorite part about the shoe. I don't know if that's necessarily a good thing or not. All I know is that the forefoot area, the eye stay, and this collar are all nubuck and suede, and it is gorgeous and it feels so good on foot. As soon as they're broken in, my goodness, this feels amazing. I have missed playing in this type of thing for a very long time. I'm not saying that textiles, knits, and plastics and all of that stuff are not good. They do have their purpose and they serve their purpose as well. This is my personal preference though, and it's on a shoe finally. Would that make me lean towards this over something like say the GT Cut 3s or the GT Academies? No, but it's close. It would at least make me look at them like on the shelf. You know what I mean? Like I would pick these up and be like, whew, I don't know, like maybe. I think the price is what would distract me, especially for the cushion. Now the midfoot back is real interesting because I don't know what you would call that. Like it looks like a twill, like something that like a potato sack would be made out of.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of that muslin Jordan 3.
That's what dude, thank you. I'd been trying to figure out between that and like the Jordan 5 Craft with the premium canvas.
The blue ones?
Well, those and the one with they were like this color and orange, or actually the same color blocking. But yeah, and they had what they listed as premium canvas, and I was like, can canvas be premium? Somebody notified me, yes it can. That's what this feels like. I don't know if that's what it is. I just know that that's something that keeps everything really lightweight, very breathable on top of that. Even though the shoe's not very breathable, it's just compared to the materials that are in the front, like all of the raw materials, that part is breathable. The tongue is made out of the same material. This thing does slide a little bit. It's not gusseted. There's no bungees in there. It's only got the fixed lace loop right there, and it doesn't really do anything. Like you do have to like mess around with it. I know that there's ways that you could lace your shoes up to make it so that that fixed lace loop actually works, but I'm not that kind of basketball player. I just go out there and I lace them up and I start playing. Like I don't care about that kind of stuff. If you do though, there's probably videos to lace it. Now the fit is something that a lot of people are not gonna like. I'm gonna let you guys know right off the bat. I went true to size and they fit me 1-to-1, and I'm talking about 1-to-1. Like it is snug out there. And on top of that, the shape is a little pointy, kind of weird. I don't love that. Overall though, I did try on a size 9.5, and while they felt almost the same, like, which is weird, I know that these raw materials in the front, as soon as they broke in and stretched a little bit, that I would have not wanted that up half a size fit. So I went true to size, knowing the materials and what they do. It worked out best for me, especially with this left shoe right here. The collar area, like the inside, is really nicely padded, but it's not nicely sculpted. And on top of that, the liner is a little slick. And so when I was just shooting around, like after my first like warm up and stuff, I'd laced them up and tightened them and everything like that. My left foot felt like the heel was sliding just a little bit. The right foot, not so much. Most people's feet are like 2 different sizes, like just barely. And so I think that's what was causing it. But once I started playing and breaking it in, my moisture with that sock liner, they kind of like stuck to each other, which was good. Again, if I would have went up half a size, I would have had some heel slip issues for sure if that was how it was already as a really snug, tight fit. So for wide footers, I would honestly just ignore these. Like they're not built for you. But if you are adamant about grabbing a pair of these, you're gonna wanna go in store and try them on for sure, because true to size and half a size up may not work for some people. Yes, they're that tight.
Ow, fork me.
Now the support, like I was saying earlier, it's very reminiscent of like a Curry and stuff, or the stability I should say, but it's all kind of one and the same. So even though you don't sit inside the midsole, I didn't have any real issues. Again, I love this type of material setup. It just works wonders for me. I just absolutely love it. It's what I've been used to playing, and I played in stuff like this since I was a kid, and that's the type of setup that I like. I will say that the base is wide. It does flare out just a little bit. There is a small like outrigger right here on the lateral side, so that's a plus. When you look at the bottom, that's when you could really see that it's a nice wide area right here. So again, nice stability for anybody that's maybe a shooter and wants like sturdy feet when they're planted. Transition is where it's like sloppy, especially because of that rubber wrap right here. It doesn't roll like a Curry would, or it kind of like moves you into your stride. But that rubber wrap does help with torsion and rigidity, so the shoes don't over twist or anything like that. There's a small shank inside, a very small like shank bar. I know that a lot of people like to like fold shoes in half, being like, oh, the shank is not good. And it's just like, dude, I can guarantee you your foot's not folded in half. ever. What it is going to do is twist, and so you don't want that to happen. You want to make sure that your shoes are sturdy from a twisting motion, not so much from a folding in half motion. But yeah, that pretty much takes care of it for the performance of the Book 1, as well as all the tech specs and the information about the materials, the sizing, support, all that kind of good stuff. If you were interested in grabbing these, they are going to be available in the Sacramento area over at Phenom. They're located over in the Doco Shopping Center right across from Macy's, just in case you guys are curious. And did we have a question of the day?
Our question of the day is brought to you guys by The Box. Since it looks like a book, I'm curious for our readers out there, or when you guys decide to read, what kind of genre do you go to?
Do comics count?
Yes.
Like as books?
Yeah, why not?
Even
Like,
single issues?
I guess.
As long as they're compiled as a full series. That's a good question. The Last Ronin, a great one. It's a Ninja Turtle story, and it's a dystopian future in case you haven't watched it, or not watched it, but read it. And then there's a follow-up to that that's so awesome, and they set up a brand new team of brand new Ninja Turtles. It's gonna be so sick. And their story comes out at the end of February. I'm so excited. That's the only one that comes to mind, but there's a bunch of them, like League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, Batman Hush, the Dark Knight series, the Dark Victory series. Secret Wars is kind of cool, like the 80s one, not the new one. What else is there? Oh, any of the Ultimate stuff. But again, that pretty much takes care of it. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. We really appreciate it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the review and the breakdown and the performance of the shoes. If you end up grabbing a pair, let me know how you feel about them in the comment section. We'll catch you guys on the next one. So until then, have a good one.